I want to start something now in this week's parsha, and then to show a Rashi in this week's parsha, which will be Moiridik. There we'll start. Okay, but let's give a look in Breshis, Perek Yutes, Pasuk, when the Kosh Baruch Hu saved Lot from here it is. Perek Yutes Pasuk Kaftes. Okay, show everyone. Perek Yutes Pasuk Kaftes. On page Nun Aleph, in this one, you'll see somewhere I'm driving at. Okay, so what does it say over here? Vayihi b'shachas elukim esarei kikar. Rabbi, so you'll understand soon why I'm going now to Parshas Vayera. So we're in Perek Yutes Pasuk Kaftes. Vayihi b'shachas elukim esarei kikar. Vayiskor elukim es Avram. Vayishalach es Lot mitoch ha'afecha. So the pasuk needs a little beer. When Akash Baruch was destroying the cities, Akash Baruch remembered Avram and he saved Lot. Nachon? Rabbi said we're in Perek Yutes, in Breshis, Perek Yutes, Pasuk of Tes. So give a look at what Rashi says. Vayiskor Elokim es Avram. Ma'u schiroso shel Avram Lot. What does Avram and Lot have to do with each other? Niskar shaya Lot yodea shesara ishto shel Avram. HaKadosh Baruch Hu remembered that Lot, when they went out to Mitzrayim, knew the truth that Sarah was the wife of Avram. By the way, what was Sarah to Lot? Siblings. Mama's sister. Right? Nizkar she'elot yodea she'Sarah ishto shel Avram v'shama shoma Avram b'mitzrayim asara achoisihi v'lo gila davar she'aya chas alav lefi chas HaKadosh Baruch Hu alav. So let's go over this Rashi. Rashi has a question and Rashi has an answer. Rashi's question is, what's the kesher between Avram and Lot? And Rashi answers, because when they went out to Mitzrayim, Lot saw that Avram Avinu was saying that Sarah is his wife. He knew the truth, obviously, and he kept it a secret. It was chas alav, v'fir chas HaKadosh Baruch Hu alav. V'lo gila adomer. But Mizrahi asks on this Rashi, he says, I don't understand Rashi's question, I don't understand Rashi's answer. He asks 4 questions, Rabbi Mizrahi on this Rashi. On the question, what do you mean, what's the relationship between Avram and Lot? Avram loved Lot. Avram went to fight to save, to get him out of the Mechamas HaMalachim. And Avram, he was an uncle and a nephew. They had a real kasha. So what's the kasha? What did Avram do? What's Avram with Lot have to do with each other? They have a lot to do with each other. So he said, I don't understand the question. When Rashi asks, Ma'u schiroso shel Avram a Lot, what kind of kasha is that? They're very much intertwined together. I'm sorry? Uncle and nephew. The son of Aaron. And brother-in-law also. Right. Both. That's the question that he asks. And then he asks on Rashi's answer, 3 questions. First of all, if it means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu remembered that Lot being quiet, it should have said, Vayiskor Elokim es Lot. He remembered what Lot did. He remembered what Lot did to Avram. That's called Vayiskor Elokim es Avram. Right? He remembered that Lot did something. So the Lashon of the Pasuk doesn't work well. Secondly, Secondly, why doesn't it say, it's okay, that's okay, thank you. Secondly, he asks, what Lot came all the way from Haran to Eretz Yisrael to walk together with Avram and to keep him company, isn't that a bigger thing? And thirdly, that's called doing a favor? That you kept it a secret? It's cause, at best, preventing damage. It's not called doing a favor. right? It's not called doing a favor. And second of all, even the enemies of Avram would not want to say the truth because that would kill Avram. You got to be a real lowlife to reveal the truth. So that's the great schus of Lot. Okay, we're starting what we're saying. It's going to go right soon. Okay, shkiach. We're looking in Breshis, Perek Yutes, Pasuk Kaftes. We're starting from there. Probably you could already figure out what we'll have to do with Devorim. But meanwhile, we're talking about this. Again, Rashi there asked the Kasha, what does Abraham and Lot have to do with each other? And Rashi answers, when Abraham Avinu said in Mitzrayim that Sarah is my wife, and my sister, Lot didn't reveal it. Says Rabbi Lo Mizrahi, I don't understand the Kasha, and I don't understand the Tirutzim. What's the question? Of course they have a strong relationship. They love each other. And Abraham Avinu almost killed himself to save Lot in Mechemes HaMalachim. So what kind of question is it? That's question number one. And then question number, then three questions on Rashi's answer. That he remembered that Lot was quiet. First of all, the pasuk doesn't say Vayiskel Elokim et Lot. It's because Vayiskel Elokim es Avram. So it's what Lot did to Avram. That's called Vayiskel Elokim as Avram. That's question number one. Question number two, why don't you mention a bigger favor that he did? That he walked with them all together, all the way from Haran. And question number three, is that called a big favor? They didn't reveal it? Even the enemies of Avram wouldn't do that. Right? Those are the three questions Rabbi Lo Mizrahi asks on Rashi there. So the Maral on the spot answers, he just brings two questions and answers two of them. And what about the other two? We're going to have to see. We're going now second to what happened in Pashas Vayera for a mysterious reason, Rabbi Yomin. It's Al Pi Sod, Al Pi Kabbalah. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know what you were offering.
Shkiach. Thank you so much. Shkiach. Ooh la la, looks great. Okay, shkiach. So the Maral answers two of the questions. Regarding the question, Avram and Lot are so close to each other. Avram was willing to die for Lot. So what's your kasha? Says the Maral. Still, by HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Mahalach, it goes father-son. A father gives over his chusim to the son, or the son could mezakeh the father. We haven't found a system that uncles and nephews work. Because the uncles at Tzaddik will save the nephew, even though they're close with each other. Especially that on the external level, they fell out with each other. Lot went to here and Abraham went to there. So to say that they had a bond and they were so close to each other, nachon ma'od, says the Maral, very true. What are you looking for, Bichol? Yeah, very true. But the Ein Zakasha, says the Maral, ki lo yitachem schira shel Avraham halot, di mishum she'akrovo, because he's a relative, lo matzanu b'midas Hashem Yisborach, rak shu zocher chasdei oros, o bno sheyatza mimeno. A father gives the schusim over to his children, and the children could also mezakeh the father. Aber Lot ben achiv haya. Lo sheich schir b'zeh shema v'yizkol elokim es Avraham. And how much more so that they fell out with each other? Okay. And what about the second question? What about the big favor that Lot came all the way from Haran to be together with Abraham? Isn't that a big favor? Says the Maral, he did it for himself. It says in that passage when he left Haran that Abraham was not even mentioned. Vayikach terach as Lot. It wasn't so kishmak to live where he lived. Who said he did it for Abraham's sake? So out of the four questions, the Maral answers two. Regarding the question, but they're very close to each other, answers the Maral, so what? It has to be father-son relationship, not uncle-nephew. And regarding that Lot did a major sacrifice, that he walked all the way from Haran, he did it for his own reason. But what about the other two questions? What are they, Rabbi Zay? Is that called Vayiskel Elokim es Avram? It should have said Vayiskel Elokim et Lot. That's question number one. Question number two, is that such a great favor that he kept quiet? Even the bitterest enemies of Abraham would keep quiet. Would we be quiet? If a stranger is saying something and you say, no, he's lying, kill him. We won't do that. Okay. Okay, so we still have to answer that. You'll see soon when we're talking about this week's parsha. I'm keeping you in suspense. Huh? Beseder. Then the Maral, the sefer is called Gur Aryeh. Why is it called Gur Aryeh? A baby lion and a mature lion. The Maral's now going, till now it's the Pshat. And then he says something, Omnam Masha Ramzul Chazal. What Chazal are really alluding here, that Lot was quiet, and that saved. You know what he says on that? Who sod misisrei Torah. You know what that means? The Maral doesn't use that a lot. What does it mean, sod misisrei Torah? What? Sod, not yesod. Sod. A secret. It's a real Kabbalistic concept. So, Rabbi Say, we're learning now, we're going to go to Kabbalah. Everybody here over 50? I'll be 40? We're all over 40? Good. He says, Avram and Lot looked alike. He's alluding to the fact that panim is from the word pnim. There's something in the pnimius that Avram and Lot are very much with each other. והכוונה לרז"ל בזה, כי בפנימיוס העניין יש ללוט צירוף בייחוס על אברהם. Lot and Abraham really connect. אף אגב דבניגלה היה לוט פירוש מאברהם, even though on the external they fell out with each other, יש בפנימיוס העניין דבר גדול, שיש לו ייחוס אל אברהם. He has a ייחוס לאברהם, ייחוס. שהרי לא היה מגלה סוד אברהם ופנימיוסו. Rabbi said, let's just explain these words, and then the Mahal's going to add a few more words what we're talking about. How come some people can keep a secret, some people cannot keep a secret? What does it show that you could keep a secret, and what does it show if you cannot keep a secret? So the Mahal speaks about in Pasha Shmois that when Moshe Rabbeinu saw that Am Yisrael are deltering, that they're saying that Lashon Hara and secrets about each other. So what happened then? I understand now in Golos. Says the Maral, we're going to take the most balabatish away. He means a lot more. If you have a pnimius inside you, so you could contain the secret. If you don't have a pnimius, it just comes out. Loose lips, that's how it's called. You have to have a place to contain the side. In a place. Right? I was told that yesterday there was this. Was anybody there in this business thing? You were there the whole day? I heard it was Gavaldik. And I heard that Levi Levinson said a story. Were you there when he spoke? No. He wanted to say that in business, anybody who thinks Koichi v'otzim Yodi could do it, he's pushing a fool. And he says, my father, when he started, I'll tell you how he started. In the early 50s, he had some money a little bit. He went to Rosinski, the bakery. And he asked him, what should I do? I have a little money, what should I buy? So he told him, buy sugar. Okay. So he called up a year that deals with sugar. I said, I want to buy sugar. How much? 5. 5 what? He didn't even know what he's saying, 5. I'll buy 5 sugar. There's measurements. He gets 5 is 1.5 tons of sugar. That's what 5 means. 5. He bought it. After 2 years, after 2 hours later, he gets a phone call from the guy. Okay, I bought this sugar now. What do I send it to? He said, no, could you send it to my house? Your house cannot have 1.5 tons of sugar. Oh, really? It's 1.5 tons of sugar? I said, 5. That's what 5 means. I don't know where to send it. You know what? Sell it. In that interim, he made what's equivalent today to over £1 million. Buying and selling. Punk, something happened there. Now what are you going to say? My father's a Goyen? That's what Levi said. You need to have a place. Why did my mom something about that story? You have to. Where should I send it? What's going to hold this sugar? I have no sugar. Where do I send it to? Where do I deliver it to? So same thing says the Maral over there. Aside, if I can keep a secret, that means I have in my system a pnimius, and it could keep the secret. If it comes out, that means there's no pnimius. The fact that Lot kept the secret of Abraham, that shows that Lot has a pnimius, and it's a secret of Abraham, it's the pnimius of Abraham also. Whenever you have a secret, there's something hidden about you. And that shows that Lot has a yichus to Avram inside. What does that mean? Rabbi, you have a clue what he's referring to? That Lot, this secret business reveals that Lot connects to the Pnimius, his Pnimius connects to the Pnimius of Avram. What are you talking about? I'll answer a few more lines. It gives us a hint. והעניין זה יש לדעת הוא מה שאמרו חכמים ז"ל. בית פרידות טובות שרצה הקדוש ברוך הוא להוציא במלכוס בית דוד, שהוא מילות והבן זה. We're talking about Mashiach. What's Mashiach have to do with that? Because who came out of Lot? Ammon and Moab. And then Malchus Beis David needs Ruta Moaviah and Amah Ammonit. This is what we're talking about. But that's a side Mesisrei Torah. It's a side Mesisrei Torah. If you understand it, good. If not, not. What does the Mara want? What was that? That Lot keeping a secret and not revealing to everyone that Abram's married to Sarah, it shows that he has an insight, he has a yichus, like a son has a yichus to his father. He has a yichus. And since he has a yichus, so that's how Mashiach works. What is he talking about? What we say? The Maharal elsewhere explains what he means. And that's like he saw at Perek Lamed Beis. He brings out the idea that Mashiach had to come from the Umas Ha'olam. Ve'ein lahakshos, he asks. Ki lama haya ba'amon u'moav davka? Why Ammon and Moab are the ones to bring Mashiach? Ki yesh lecha ladas. Ki dover ze mipnei kilot shemimeno yatsa Ammon and Moab haya etzlo tipa shel kedusha shegiya lelot. Avraham Avinu had what's called a tipa of kedusha. Bishvil shaya Lot ben achiv shel Avram. Because Lot was a nephew of Avram, there's a shaykhs there. Actually, it's a Lot, you can't take it straight from Lot to Avram, because by Lot it was still Me'urav b'zuhum of Sig. And it won't do anything. And Avram Avinu could get it, Ke'em atipa zuma psadis. But therefore HaKadosh Baruch Hu had this go through a process, through Ruta Moaviah and Naamah Ammonit, to purify this Nekuda of Yichus, right? Like kesef, when you find silver, how does it look like? The black stuff, how do you call it in English? Sig, it's called in Hebrew sig.
It's a rock.
Yeah, okay. And therefore Avram Avinu could get it and had to go through a process through Lot. You can't take it straight from Lot because he was too, and it had to be purified through them, and that's how it reached us. Everybody said, what does it mean? Again, to try to explain, if the Maharal calls it Sod Mesisrei Torah, we don't have a clue what it means. It's not. But the Chitzayin is a Chitzayin Shel Dvar. As we see, Mashiach had to go through 2-3 stations of not so kosher. Lot coming on his daughters, Yehuda and Tamar, and then Boaz and Ruth. It doesn't seem the Vat that Tznius would agree to this. What? Also, there was the whole story. So, I'm sorry? David and Bathsheba. It doesn't seem glatt. Right, to say the least. The Orach Chaim HaKodesh in Parshas Vayechi, Perek Mem Tes, Posuk Tes, speaks about this point. That Mashiach is something that had to go Mikimi mi'afar dal, and had to go through this process. That it looks l'cha'ura, or maybe even beyond l'cha'ura, not kosher, and come from there. Why does Mashiach have to work that way? Let's see if we'll have time to go into today. So therefore, Mashiach had to come through Lot. What's so special about Lot? Because what's so special about Ammon and Moab? Because they came to Lot. And what's so special about Lot? He's a nephew of Abraham. And it says, so he has yichus to him. So what does it mean? A son comes from the pneumius of his father. A son, the Maharal says, I remember that. Look who's here, Richard. He usually comes 3 minutes earlier. Bahamas. I know, you're allowed to mach choizek and Chodesh Av. I don't know. Did you make... What? Mamatim Simcha. Beseder Gamor. Rabbi say, here comes a statement which a lot of people don't like to hear. But, malasot. I remember Rafutna told me once that children reveal the pneumius of their parents, especially of the father. And he told me the Ramban and the Maral say it. The Ramban says it on the Pasuk Lamant Tzvoi Sarova Satzmeya, and the Maral says in the beginning of Pashas Korach, Vayikach Korach ben Kehat ben Yitzhar ben whatever, and stop. It doesn't mention Yaakov. And over there he says in the Nekuda, for example, Rabbi say that Avram had someone like Yishmael. Is that some kind of chisaron by Avram? Absolutely, Chazal said. If it would have been Chazal, we wouldn't be allowed to say it. Chazal said. The Ram Sachim. That Yitzchak had a son like Esav. It's a chisaron. We're speaking about the opposite Kedashim. What's so special about Yaakov Avinu? Mitaso Shlema. They're all tzaddikim. What does that mean, Rabbi say, in, again, simple English? The sifting process is over. Those who don't belong were already asked to leave. Yishmael is the what's called the Psalus of Chesed. Esav is called the Psalus of Din. And Yaakov Avinu, it's all Torah. What? I don't know enough to answer. The Maral never used the word klipa. I don't know. Okay, but it could be. Just like a son comes to the pneumius of the father, the Maral's using the reverse logic. If Lot has anything to do with the pneumius of Avram, he's like a son. Meaning, if the kasha of Rashi and Pashas Bayar was, it doesn't go from uncle to nephew. Uncle and nephews, it's not a path that we know. So we answer the Shtika story. How do you overcome the fact that it's an uncle and nephew? But it's still an uncle and nephew. What's the answer? No. Now they have a din of a father and son. Because Lot has to do with the pneumius of Abraham. He knows the secret about him. And he's keeping in a secret that shows that Lot has a pneumius. That means in the pneumius of Lot, there's Avramdik. There's something Avramdik. Okay? But so what happened over here? Mashiach is a Jewish thing, but it had to be imported from different areas. That's how it had to be. Where? By someone who was in the parsha, was part of the mishpacha. Someone who's part of the mishpacha. Who's part of the mishpacha? Lot. He's a nephew and an uncle. Because he kept the secret, that means he has a pneumius of Avram by him. And when he has the pneumius of Avram by him, what happens then? It becomes like a son. Because a son and a father share the pneumius. To the degree that the son even reveals the pneumius of the father. They say a lot of times, if you want to know who a person is, look at his children. People don't like this. I know this from my experience. People don't like this part. First of all, I don't want to be exposed. What, you're going to look at my children and figure out who I am? I got enough problems with myself. I don't need you to know my problems. I mean, keep it private. Well, you look at my children, you're going to know who I am. But it is a yisod. It is a yisod.
What does it mean when someone has a Yaakov and Esau?
Has what?
What does it mean when somebody has a Yaakov and Esau?
So there's a psalus in the father that still have to be taken out. There is some kind of psalus there. Again.
Do we know why?
No. We don't know how this thing's
Why it had to be this way?
we do know, but we're not going to go into it now at this stage. But we do know. Okay. Can I stand up, Pushtigal? Yeah? Can I? Okay, wait a second. I want to stand up to see who's on their phones, who's not on their phones. You know, I'm from Hasbro, you know what I mean? I'm from Hasbro. I deal with teenagers.
Do we not also say there is the father who's in the mother's brother to see to get...
Hanoi Seisha, Yivdok B'achea, Shalom Achim Domim Lam. Yeah. There's other components as well. 100%. But this Nakuda is, I remember Mafutna told me that. And I remember he told me that a son reveals the pneumius of his father. And I said, Bemet? And I was surprised. Bemet? He said, Maran Mefurash, Ramban Mefurash. That's what he told me. And I found out later what he was referring to. So now, let's do this Nakuda. Ein Echinami, the shtika could mean that I'm just not doing anything. because I don't want to be a cruel person. But Akash Baruch is megala to us that you know why Lot was shosek? Because he really felt for Avram. And so that shows a shaykhs to Avram's pnimis. It could be that if a guy from the street also would reveal it. I'm going to reveal something about someone that would kill him. I wouldn't do it to a stranger. We wouldn't do it to anybody. We wouldn't do it to a non-Jew. True, that's what could be. But here there's a gilui that it happened because a shaykhus, and now he's considered like a son. So, Boisai, could we then answer the two questions that we left open? The two questions was, shouldn't it say Vayiskel Elokim Lot? Why is it Vayiskel Elokim Avram? But now that we're saying that Lot is considered like a son of Avram, then I could say, there's two ways to say it. I'll say it Pashut, I'll say more below this. Can I say Vayiskel Elokim Avram and therefore you saved Yitzchak? Can I say such a sense? I could say that, right? A father and son, I could say that. Vayiskel Elokim Yitzchak and therefore you saved Yaakov? I could say that. Vayiskel Elokim Avram and therefore you saved Lot? Because of this shtika, Lot became like a son. So he saves him. Right? Because now that's the achas that they have. Hi, the question was that it's not such a great deed that he kept quiet. You're right. Silence could be interpreted in different ways. But here it means that there's a chasalav. What's the main chiddush that we're coming out over here? What you say? That the shtika of Lot makes Lot like a son of Avram. Because he has to do with the shaykhs. And what does that mean? There's something of Avram by Lot. Like by every father, there's something of the father by his son. What's by Lot, which belongs to Avram? What is it? What are we talking about? No, but what is it in this context? Mashiach. There's something, Avram himself cannot have it because Mashiach has to go through all kinds of circles that Avram Avinu is too holy for it. But there's something of Avram that's found by Lot, like by every father, there's something of the father found by the son. And what is that Nakuda? Mashiach is going to come from there, and it'll be incorporated back into Am Yisrael. That's what's going on over here with the shtika of Lot. Rabbi Sai, so what is the main chiddush that we're coming out here? What's the main chiddush of tomorrow? Okay, you're going to say it. Guys, you're going to say it. I can people drink. I'm going to drink. I'm sorry? Lot has a din of Avram because of what? The shtika shows it. Is it a simon? Is it a simon? I don't know. But Lot has the din of Avram. That silence shows that they connect internally. So there's something of Avram which is found by Lot. Rabbi say it's a fair Rashi in this week's parsha. Does anybody know what I'm referring to? All this was just the Akdama to Rashi in this week's parsha. Please give a look, Rabbi Say, in Devorim. That's our parsha. Devorim, Perek Bet, Pasuk Hey. Don't look at the Rashi, please, yet. Devorim, Perek Bet, Pasuk Hey. Again, I have it on page Tov Kuf Lamed Vav. We have it covered, right? You know, let's start Pasuk Dalet. V'esa'am sam le'emor atem ovrim b'gvul achem b'nei Esav yashum b'seir. You're going near Edom, v'yaru mikem l'shmat mod. Al tizgoru bam, ki lo yiten lechem artzam, ki yirush la'esav natati et har seir. You already looked already, Michael? Michael, you already looked? Don't look. Give a look at Rashi. And see if you're not going to start dancing in your place. But you can't dance on 9 days, so you have to dance in your own place. Look at the second Rashi, Yirush la'esav. You see the Rashi? The second Rashi in Dvar, in Pasuk Yam, sorry. Yerusha la'esav, me'Avram. A grandson, Kedyash his grandfather. Eser amarim natati lo. I gave 10 nations to Avram. Where are the 10 nations, come on, say? Where are the 10 mentioned? And Bishman, I'm sorry. Lech lecha. Shiva lachem. 7 nations, Kini, Achivi, Maknizi, whatever. 7 nations you got now. The Kini, Knizi, V'Kadmaini. Those actually. But Michal, you see the Rashi? Michal? I'm asking Michal, our American friend. Yeah, you see the Rashi? I'm telling you, Perik Bet Pasuk Hey. Okay? And 7 nations you got now. What are the, what we say down in the morning? What are the 7 nations?
We only actually say
Very good. Okay. Okay. The Kini, Knizi, V'Katmoini, those other 3, Hen Amon, Umoyav, V'Seir. Kini, Knizi, V'Katmoini. Echad mehem le'Esav. One I'm giving over to Esav because he's a grandson. And let's read the next sentence. Let's take a volunteer to read. Rabbi Yonason, you want to read the ending of the Rashi? A little bit louder than we can hear. Hashnayim livnei Lot. What does that mean? There's 2 countries, or whatever they're called, to the children of Lot. Why? Itoi. Mischal shalach ito leMitzrayim v'shosak al ishtoi achosehi. Look at the last 2 words of Rashi. Aso kipnoi. Isn't that worth 10 trillion pounds? I'm asking you. What the Maral was trying to explain in the Gur Aryeh and in Netzach Yisrael, that the Pnimius, it makes him a son. Rashi says, Aso kipnoi. Because of the shtika. Rashi's mentioning the shtika. It could have been one first than that. The shtika of Lot, again, is that, do I have 100% clarity? Of course not. Because the Sod Misis V'Torah, says the Maral. But what we're dealing over here is Mashiach being now starting. The shtika of Lot enabled Lot to give birth to Mashiach. How does that work? Because the shtika of Lot makes him like a hemshech of Avraham, a son, and therefore it has to be someone Jewish who's going to bring Mashiach. Lot is Jewish enough. Because he's also, so to speak, a son. A soul, Kibnoi. Here Rashi had to say it, Rabbi say, you know why he had to say it? Because we're speaking about Dinei Yerusha. Avraham Avinu got 10 nations, 7 the Yidden took, and the other 3, you can't just take Snam, it needs a Yerusha. So Yerusha le'esav, that the Pasuk itself says, and also Lot is called Yerusha. Why? Says Rashi the Shtika, Aso Kibno. Okay, so that's what happened. So Lot now is Roi to be the first kickoff in bringing Mashiach. Where was the first preliminary step done vis-a-vis Mashiach? First step.
when his daughters.
What?
When his daughters said.
Lot with his daughters. Now, I just want to tell you, there's a medrash. You see, this is called Medrash Rabbah. Medrash Rabbah. It's a rabbinical Amoraim. I think it's Amoraim, right? Medrash Rabbah is Amoraim. Okay, Amoraim. I'm sorry. Right. Do you know there's a pasuk in Tehillim Perek Peites? I forgot another pasuk. I think Yotes. Matzasi David Avdi. Right. The book, let us know where it is. I think it's Perek Peitet. I think it's Pasuk Yutet or Kaftes. Give a look. Perek Peitet. Matzasi David Avdi. Okay, I have a toast on the Pasuk. Which means? Kafal. Shkeach. Matzasi David Avdi. You know what the Medrash says on those words? Heichan. Heichan Matzativ. Where did I find him? You know what's the next word? This time. The Medrash says it. Matzasi. It's the Bereishis Rabbah Mem Aleph Dalet. Matzasi, right? Yeah, and it's in Tehillim Perek Peites Pasuk of Aleph. I found David. Where did I find him? In Stein. That was the first step. And then there's another Medrash that we say. Here. V'nechia me'avinu zera. That's what the daughters of Lot said. V'nechia me'avinu ben en ktiv kan. Ela me'avinu zera. Oto zera shubam mukom acher. Ve'izu zera ze melech HaMashiach. They all start saying that here starts Mashiach. This Medrash is Nun Aleph Ches. And the other one is, for our listeners abroad, Mem Aleph Dalet. Right? Meaning what's happened, because he was Shoisik, it shows that he's a Hemshech, therefore he's the one that will do the kickoff for Mashiach. Zeh ma shekatuv po. Now why does Mashiach have to go in such kind of like that? If he wouldn't have been a Ben, he would not be the one to do a kickoff for Mashiach. It has to be something of us. זה מה שכתוב פה. Now, בואי say, okay? Understood, חבר'ה? But isn't the Rashi Asol Kibno with a million? Avi, what do you say? The Rashi Asol Kibno. Was Kedai to come for that? Asol Kibno. 2 words. Nachon? Asol Kibno. I remember when I saw that Rashi, I almost jumped out of my chair. Asol Kibno. What could be more explicit? So, what could be more explicit? But first, I want to ask you now a question. Tell me if it's a kasha or not. Let's go back a second to Lech Lecha again, when there was a riv between Ro'ei Avraham and Ro'ei Lot. It's in Bereshis Perigid Gimel Pasuk Zayin. Yeah. Okay, Bereshis Perigid Gimel. אנחנו פשוט הולכים לבראשית ובזה מקשרים את זה לדברים. כן, עושים פה סיבוב, אני אגיד לך אחר כך. So what does it say? In Perigid Gimel Pasuk Zayin. ויהי ריב בין רועי מקנה אברהם ובין רועי מקנה לוט, והכלני והפרזי אז יושב בארץ. I can't give it to you because I have another verse. No problem at all. Okay? So what does Rashi say in Perigid Gimel? I have a question which I don't have a Keshmaka answer, and maybe the Olam could help me. In Perigid Gimel Pasuk Zayin, what does it say? ויהי ריב בין רועי מקנה אברהם ובין רועי מקנה לוט. What were they fighting about? The Torah doesn't say, Rashi says. Says Rashi, what was the fight? The shepherds of Lot were wicked people. How would you say in English, ma'im be'emtam? Pastor. Okay, good. And the shepherds of Abraham told them Musar. Allah Gezer. Hey guys, you're doing Ksela. It's not ours. You know, Abraham is the one that had muzzles on his animals. You can't do it. The heaven, when you look at the answer of Ro'ei Lot, they were Mamash Lamdonim. You know what Ro'ei Lot answered? No, it's no problem. Nitna haaretz to Abraham. The land was given to Abraham. V'lo ein Yoresh. Yitzchak wasn't born yet. V'lo Yosho. Apparently the nephew will get it. V'ein Zegezer. It's kosher. What we're doing is kosher. The land was promised to Abraham. Abraham, till that stage, unfortunately, didn't have children. Apparently, it's going to be Lot. So, it's ours. And why are they wrong? Because the Pasuk says, "V'knani ba'aretz v'lo zacha ba'Abraham adayin." Abraham didn't get it yet. Fine. But what was their havamid of Ro'ei Lot? It was given to Abraham. He doesn't have a hemshech. It will be Yitzchak. It will be Yitzchak. It will be Lot. And it will be Lot, so we could do it. I'm sorry? Yishmael wasn't born yet either. Good point. Now asks the Maral Akasha, Ve'im Tomar. Over there he asks, Achar Sheyadu, if the shepherds of Lot had this inside information about the Haftocha that was given to Abraham, how do they know he was promised the land? I guess Abraham told them, or they knew, that a Haftocha was made that the land will be given to Abraham. You know what it says in that very Haftocha? I'm going to give the land to your children. So how did they work it out? If you're coming from the Haftocha, what?
They knew that.
No, he said the Mom says they did not.
They know.
Okay, up. What? Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's answering. He's answering that it says before that he gave it. It says a Perigid Pasuk Zayin. So what's the Ral's Kasha? What's the logic of Ro'ei Lot? They're quoting the Haftacha to say Abraham's going to get it. He doesn't have children, so we're going to get it. But in that very same Haftacha that it says that Abraham's going to get it, it says the children will get it. The Zaracha. And Lot is not called Zaracha. So what's the lumptus? They take the Haftacha only halfway? Abraham will get it. Abraham will get it for his children, and Lot's not his child. Is that his child? That's what the Ral asks. But according to what the Ral himself is insinuating in Parshas Vayera and everywhere, Lot is called the child. Lot is called the son. Why? After the shtika, and the shtika already happened. When did the shtika happen? When they were in Egypt. And that already happened. That happened in Perigid Beis. So the shtika of Lot already kicked in. And what happens once the shtika of Lot happened? We saw the Rashi in this week's parsha. What are the two magical words that he said? Asol kibno. To the degree that he's going to yashin the lands that were given to Avram Avinu and Bris Mitzrayim. So what's the Ral's kasha? He forgot what he's going. He's not paying attention to what he wrote 6 parakim later. Let me repeat the question again. No, maybe for the oil. It'll be just for the oil. I'll repeat it. I'll be happy to hear. Again, what does the shtik of Lot do? Makes him ascend to the degree. These Yerush. What was the Yerush? Mamish?
Yes.
The first two halakim. Kninim Knesset. He was a Yerush. He's so that shtik made him as a son. So maybe Ro'ay don't know all this, love this as well. And therefore they're saying, so like the Ramal is saying, it says that the land will be given to Zaracha, and so they should know that Lot's not called Zaracha. Lot is called Zaracha. He is. He is a Yerush. Asa Okim, no. So what's the difference? No, again, he's allowed to get something. Again, if there'll be Yitzchak, Yitzchak will get the 7. But they see Yitzchak's not been born, so he'll get it. If he got 2 out of the 10, why can't he get the rest of it? Okay, he can't get, and there won't be Esav either. Right? If there's no Yitzchak, there's no Esav. So what's the Ral's kasha? His lashon is, Ve'ein lot karu yizawi. Ve'ein lot karu yizawi. What do you want to say, Yitzchak?
Even if he's not direct Zara, the fact is Yitzchak never been born, so that probably would go by default as the closest relative.
No, but the question of the Maral is that the Haftach has to be kept. The Haftach, if you're banking on the Haftach, so the Haftach take it in full. There'll be Zaracha. That's the question.
Maybe they didn't know that part of it.
Okay, you can say that, but that's what's hard to say. This part they knew, this part they didn't know. It's 3 words, the whole Haftarah. L'zaracha ete and ha'aretz hazois. But again, the Rav takes on the dinner. Manasa, that he takes on. They're quoting that Haftarah. Look, Rashi also quoted. Ha'aretz nitna ha'aretz l'Avram. How do they know?
I mean, I've all been built on this bear, as a result of what you've been told. So, don't wouldn't ask, why did you do that?
Rabbi Yamin saying Merry Geshmak. Of course they know. Avram made a big trask from this Haftarah. I'm sorry?
They're taking the time of the world they want to be they weren't giving the castle to Israel land towards Yerusha because no one's been Yerush anything yet.
That's another question of the Maral. The Maral's going to ask another thing. There's a bunch of questions the Maral's going to ask on that. That the Yerush, again, and the father still has it, and as long as the father's alive, you can't Yerush him. All these questions the Maral's going to ask. You're going to buy the set, for the chassan. You'll buy the set for the chassan. Mitzvah Shem, chassan's coming up. We'll work out the price, don't worry. And you know, Mazel Tov, you know that. Shia Moshe's son, the daughter got engaged. Baruch Hashem. And there's another simcha here. Ari as his son got Lucy, whatever, also got engaged. Okay. We should have only simchas of my son. We could use only simchas. So why is the Maral saying that the royal Lord, their logic is flawed? Because if they're quoting the Haftarah is Zaracha, and Lot is not called Zaracha. After the Shtika, he is called Zaracha. I'm sorry? Only Kibbutz.
Even the Yerusha was only tempted because when Mashiach comes, the Yerusha goes back to Bnei Israel, right?
True. So that's why it's given. Also, Asa is a Mamasha Einakol. He's going to give it back also. You see?
Yeah, so that's not Zerah.
It's not? Asa's not called Zerah? I don't know. Okay.
was one about Rashi, which Kidner, which Robert said is our fan, even better. The Russian Kidner is the kind that's on the night.
He's not a real son, he's just like a son. He's getting Yerusha. That sounds pretty son to me. They speak about Kibbutz, we love called Yitzchak, 100%.
Zerah has to be mamash.
Yikara, it's in the Kriya. But of course the grandson's called Zerah. How could you say grandson's not called Zerach? He is. It's just Yikar. Maybe what you guys are saying is, I hear it now a little bit better. He's like a son, but Zerah means Mamash comes from Avram. The word Zerah means it comes from him. Zaracha. Meaning, Zaracha means it's coming from you. Lot was already born. What?
Also come from Yitzchak.
נכון?
Still, it's not Zerach.
לא, הוא לא יקרא זה דין אחר.
למה יקרה?
תשמע, הוא ודאי נקרא בן של עשו. עשו נקרא ודאי בן של יצחק. ודאי. It's like got to be dinim a certain din. Of course he's a son. We can't deny that. By the way, Ki Yitzchak al doesn't say which one. It's one of them. Then we'll decide later on. But anyway, we're saying maybe Zaracha, that means a seed, so to speak, that has to come from the Tata. Maybe that's what you want to say. Because otherwise it's pretty much of a steer here. The Maharal's contradicting himself. He says, look, after the Shtika is called the son, and then he's not called much a son. Okay, what we say. So what do we learn? What we say? We learned that Mashiach started his first appearance in the world was Lot and his daughters, and then it had to be a few other stops on the way, which again are not what? Are not the Vadat Tznius. Do they have Vadat Tznius in London? They had something like that. And actually, so much it's a pachat level from Vadat Tznius. I'm serious. If anybody does any monkey business, Vadat Tznius he's always afraid of. It's a very militant. What's the word? Yeah, don't start up with him. Look at that. I don't think they have one in England. You're saying in Stephenville they have. Okay. I'm sorry. Iran. Yeah, in Iran you have one. We're not comparing, of course. Okay, what we say. So, okay, I'm saying that. First of all, before we finish, let's just a few minutes about when's married. Like 10:05. Oh, okay, whoever wants to leave, well, just to sum up, because this is our last year for this semester, right? For this semester. Look there. What? Yeah, and the shiurim. What about the shiurim? Oh, you said I like to hear it twice. You know, people when they get a compliment, they say, "What? I'm sorry." I noticed there's some people like that. What did you say? I'm sorry. Rabbi say, in Yetz Hashem, what we're planning to do is to go to Prague. Again, those who want to come on the night of the 3rd of September, which is a Sunday night. It's Yudches Elul, which is the Yortzeit of the Maharal, and to be in that Altnoi Shul for the night. If anybody wants to go and rest or go to sleep, whatever, there's hotels nearby, and some of them are very reasonable. And the prices are, and I can work it out. I just what you have to know in advance. And we'll be in the Altnoi Shul. We'll learn the Torah of the Maharal there. And Yetz Hashem will daven there Vasikin. And did you have a chance to look up when's Vasikin those days? I think a little bit later. I think it's a little bit later. Okay, Nishta Goy's enough Kamina. About 6. Okay, well, don't worry, we're going to dance. We're going to do a lot of things in Yetz Hashem. Yeah, the Sefer Torah, 100%. And at 7:30, we're going to be kicked out of there anyway. First of all, that's better for us. Secondly, there's another minion coming. Also London people, and they want to say slichas there. It's Chodesh Elul. And I'll tell you the truth, it's none of my business.
Where the sleepers?
Achenu Asfalt, we said Chodesh Elul. Yeah. Now, I don't know who's doing it. It's none of my business. But it's very dangerous to go to a shul like the Maharal and change the nusach. It's mamish playing with fire. I know Rav Moshe Shapiro once told me, and Rav Moshe Shapiro did not go for Baba Mises. Right? He didn't, that wasn't his style. He told me that once there was a Hasidic Yid in the early 1800s that said that if the Ramah would have lived after the Gili of the Baal Shem Tov, he for sure would have davened Nusach Sfard. And he just, so happens to me, he was born before the Baal Shem Tov. But if he would have met the Baal Shem Tov, Ma'is and the Bell, for sure he would have davened Nusach Sfard. And he davened Nusach Sfard in the Ramah Shul. And the Ramah, by the way, these two shuls have a lot in common. The Ramah Shul and the Ramah Shul, the feeling that you feel when you enter is mamish man noira amokum wazeh. And so he said he's davened Nusach Sfard. But the ganze minyan. And Rav Moshe told me that when he came out, Hashem Yirachem, the stone over the entrance fell on his head. Mamash, and killed him. Kach amar li Rav Moshe. And he told me, Rav Moshe told me, you got to tell the Chazanim and the Maral Shul not to do any monkey business, to do it the way he davened, and to follow his takonas. You'll see on the wall that there's 18 takonas from the days of the Maral. A bacher, that bacher can get an aliyah. There's all kinds of, he has all kinds of shittas. And so Moshe told me, in this place, don't try to deviate an inch. Just stick to what it is. So come and say slichus, but I don't know. I think it's a little risky, but they're doing it. Should I get him? Should I tell them something?
Yes, you should.
I should?
Yeah, you don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah, you should. They can do it in a hall. Well, they don't
Yeah,
know.
they could. Yeah, especially that place that it's like.
Was they live there?
No, they're English boys. אמרתי מותק. הם באים מלונדון, לפראג גם כן, לא הקבוצה שלנו, קבוצה אחרת. Okay? So, I don't know. But Rabbi said, I do have to know if who's coming. Please let Reborch know. Reborch will be my connect me. I gotta know, not now, but I gotta know like in a month from now, who's coming and who's not. I gotta give over the names to the security. And does anybody know now who's coming? Your book. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Okay. אגב, כדורי, אתה לא בא? מה אתה... What? I think Ari Cohen is also coming. I think Michal is coming.